Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. What is going on? It's your girl Rosie here with a very annoying sunlight in front of my face. Back at it again with another D&D video. Today is the first session of the brand new campaign Bullet Isles. Not being ran by me, though. Being ran by the amazing Jackson Knight, which you guys can see in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, at least. Um, so before we get started, I already went over the big thing, which is I am not the DM of this session. I am actually the player. So you guys get to experience me as a player. Uh, Another thing is viewer just I like you guys probably saw it because I probably have an intro made by now and that played at the beginning of the video. But viewer discretion is advised. I will also have trigger warnings for any sort of things that crop up during the session. I will have that at the beginning of the video as well. So viewer discretion is advised. This video is for this session, this series is for mature audiences only. So okay, I got all of that stuff taken care of. Also, if you guys have not caught up on Stories from the Savage Lands, don't worry. There's not going to be any spoilers. We are recording this a couple of weeks after we just finished the final session of Stories from the Savage Lands. But, so don't worry, there will not be Savage Lands spoilers here, so you can watch this without having to worry about Savage Lands. It takes place in a totally different world anyways. With all that out of the way, one last thing. If you guys like what you see, make sure you leave a like, you comment, you subscribe, and you ring that bell, ding, 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 and join the notification station, the whole shebang, shaboodle, the whole kit caboodle, if you know what I mean. With all that out of the way, I will now hand it over to the lovely DM, Jaxo Knight.
All right, guys. So first of all, I do want to introduce a mechanic of mine I've told them about before. I haven't told the audience. This is a 3D printed rose turtle. Their name is Petal. This is a 3D printed prismatic dragon. His name is Priz. At any time during the session, players are allowed to invoke their powers once. You may ask Petal to give you an automatic natural 20 once per session. You may ask Priz to grant you an automatic maximum roll once per session per individual die, meaning 4 on a d4, a 20 on a d20. Priz is much larger, that's why he carries more than one die. Now that being said, welcome to a world where everything is probably out to get you, nothing makes sense, and even the DM can't be trusted. We're going to zoom in, starting with Shokan. Shokan, you find yourself in the ruins of a beautiful castle. You are kneeling before nothing, bloodied, beaten, and you can barely see. The last thing you remember is a being standing 7-8 foot tall with armor darker than you've ever seen reaching before you and going, I think you're my least favorite. So let's try again later. And they just grabbed your face. This is, for you, that was seconds ago. Based on everything around you, way more time has passed because this was an actual castle when this happened. And the only thing that looks familiar to you is a bound leather case that sits in front of you. It is a very large case. And you know, from the little bit you can remember, that your commanding officer traveled the world and collected the knives used by various warriors, and that he was excited to come to the Bullet Isles because his collection was missing one final knife. And you know that that is his collection sitting in front of
you. All right. So, with the collection sitting in front of me, I am immediately going to grab it, kind of swing my bag off from under my shoulder, and tuck it in the bag, kind of muttering to myself, better keep this safe. I look up at the castle, completely destroyed, and think about the 7-8 foot tall figure that said that I was his least favorite. And I kind of get like a look of determination on my face, and I just say, I'll show him. I will show them all. The Bullet Isles will be safe once again. Pick up my bag, sling it over my shoulder. I look around. Is my sniper rifle anywhere nearby?
So your rifle is sitting just directly beside you. You've always taken very meticulous care of it, but it looks weathered and worn like you could barely imagine. The barrel is almost cracked completely in half.
As I look to see the state of my rifle, I kind of think back to when I first got that rifle, when I was first enlisted into a battalion that was sent here to the Bullet Isles to try and bring balance and bring peace to the Bullet Isles. I look at the rifle that was a gift from my father, who I don't even know is alive or dead at this point. Haven't been able to keep in touch with him just because so much shit has happened. I look up to the sky and I scream, "Damn you gods! Damn you all!" And pick the rifle up, sling it over my other shoulder, and storm off into another opposite direction of the castle.
As you scream at the gods, you notice multiple colors of neon lightning streak across the sky in response.
Oh, you don't like that. You don't like that. And I just keep walking.
As you make your way out of the ruins of what was once considered one of the most beautiful castles on the planet, looking down, instead of the falling apart and damaged wooden homes that you had seen an hour ago, from your perspective, you now see towering, glistening stone and marble mansions as far as the eye can see in seemingly every direction.
Is this by chance the town that I was working so hard to defend and it was all in vain?
The last you had seen this town, it was wooden buildings that were falling apart. It was being invaded by waves after waves of undead. Some of them you couldn't even name. They're everything from vampires to wights to mummy lords to some kind of zombie kraken monster you couldn't even think of a word for if you tried. Even the remains of a Dracolich were animating last you saw, but now it's almost stunning. It has this eerie beauty, and a thick mist permeates the entire island in every direction.
Interesting. So you said there were like stone spires, towers, buildings, mansions, stuff like that?
In every direction is seemingly a almost utopic city.
Okay. So I'm gonna look for like the first civilian I can and try and ask him about this place and what the hell, like, I'll, without sounding out of place, because I don't know what the hell is going on, I'm basically going to find a civilian and basically, ask where I am, if there's like an inn or a shelter that I could stay, things along that nature.
So as you look around, you notice you don't see pretty much any, like, you see zombies and undead shuffling about and moving, but the only humanoid things you see right now are drow. Most of them are very tall and regal and aggressive looking women, one of whom is carrying a rifle not too dissimilar to your own, except that its barrel is this galactic, majestic purple color.
I'm gonna...
You also will notice you cannot read anything here.
Even Elven, Common, Goblin, still can't read anything.
So, as you look at the shops, you notice that the names are written 2 or 3 times. One of them is in Common, but it kind of looks like if you gave an ogre a stick and told him to write this, kind of like it's terribly written. And the Elven, you can kind of recognize that it's Elven, but it almost looks like it's written backwards. Last letter first.
Interesting. So you had described someone who has a rifle similar to mine. I'm gonna walk up to her and just say, "Greetings. My name is Shokan, and I'm rather new to these parts, and I'm just wondering if there is a place I can stay to rest my head and potentially somewhere to eat."
So she kind of gives you a once over. I have to ask, what race are you?
Elf.
Okay, I have to ask because her levels of racism will vary.
Makes sense.
So, what kind? Are you a high elf? Are you a wood elf?
Let me double check.
While Rose is checking right quick, there are also like sun elves, moon elves, as far as I'm aware of.
Damn, I just put elf down on my character sheet. Damn it. I noticed that my dexterity is a 17, so I think I went for wood elf.
All right, so we'll go with that. So she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, what are?" Ugh. She gives you this. Her relatively pretty face kind of distorts into this disgusted expression. She goes, "Just go to the tavern. They're over there. Be gone, pest." And she storms in the opposite direction.
As she's walking in the opposite direction, I'm gonna flip her the bird and head over to the direction she pointed towards, to the tavern.
So she kind of waved at it dismissively, but you do notice a sign that's shaped similar to a sword. There is the name of a country on it, but it looks worn and like someone's been trying to scratch it out, and it just says the resting point.
Yeah, that's Shokan will kind of mutter to herself, "Well, that's a tavern if I've ever seen one," and she'll walk in. Hopefully to a lot less racism.
Not likely here. So we're gonna pan over to Mark's character, Lumeria. Assuming that Mark is here at the moment. He might have stepped away. Okay.
Same here. I will go back over to the other, as I thought it was going to be a little bit longer. Okay. I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm totally here.
All right, so Lumeria, you just got off of a ship. You are probably one of the only people here who sailed here intentionally. As you get off the ship, the first thing you notice is a sting on your fiery skin as you step into this thick, cold fog. And as you set foot on the ground, it almost feels like the island itself is dying. You can feel no warmth anywhere.
What's such a freaking mess? What the heck have they been doing here? Or it could not be them, it could be something else. Yeah, regardless, I need to find out. I don't really know. I go around and like look at these people and see what they're doing.
So I will say, if I'm aware it's not on your character sheet because either I'll have to add it or I'll have to ask Rose to add it. You did take Necrol as one of your languages, right?
Yes, this is correct.
Okay. So as soon as you step out, you can hear muttering and people talking. every single thing coming out of their mouth is offensive.
Oh, and I thought I had a party map. Listen to all them going on like a bunch of jerks. It sounds like home.
What are you gonna do from here? All of the dock hands are muttering things, not necessarily directed at you. They're muttering slurs at the various other races that are also getting off the ship, which is very few things. You see like 4 drow and a vampire that they throw a couple slurs at, but try to ignore. They are almost trying to avert their gaze, like you're unpleasant.
Unpleasant, am I? Okay. I'm sorry. It's a little hard not to be in character. Alright, so I go around, I look, and I go to like one of them, and I say, "Oh, I see that we're all using our sentence enhancers. Okay, so I need to ask, what happened here? This place seems like almost like it's lost life. Was something wrong with it?"
So one of the dock hands turns to you, and you actually get a good look at his face. And even though he's just a guy doing a job, he's clearly not alien from this place. As you look at his face, it's rotted, and there's bandages that are almost falling away from his face. As you realize you're talking to a mummy. He turns to you, and in this guttural groan that kind of reminds you most of his organs have been removed, he goes, "What the flying hell are you doing here, Lifey? Why don't you get back on your boat and go home?"
They're very depressed, and you know that. I really think that you have problems. I'm going to go find somebody who is a little less cranky.
All right, so I'm guessing you're walking in the general direction of town. You do see some living creatures. Most of what you're seeing are various undead and the occasional drow, whether it be very tall, very aggressive women, or the occasional male drow who almost looks like he's on a leash or is actively being pistol whipped in the face by somebody else.
You see that we're at least into some very kinky shit here. Okay, so I walk up to one of them and I ask, so first, I probably going to need a place to stay for a little while, and secondly, I'm a little curious about why this place seems so freaking messed up and lifeless. Like, what the heck did you guys do here?
So which of the different types of people did you walk up to so I can articulate their response?
I had to walk up to, like, I don't know, either one of the ones that seem to be having fun, or one of the ones that seem to be very, very serious. I would try both of them, to be honest.
So, are you going up to one of the guys in a collar, one of the women holding the other end of the leash,
I would talk to
one of the guys in a bar fight?
Yes. Oh, bar fight, you see?
Yeah, as you look, you kind of catch the tail end of a bar fight of some guy getting smashed in the face with a very large rifle about 7 times.
It looks like we know how to have fun here too. Okay, so we're going to go into the freaking bar, and I'm going to ask them there's people inside of there, what's happening, because clearly they're having a lot of fun in there.
So you walk up to the bartender, who, just looking at him, you can almost immediately recognize this is a lich. He leans over, looks at you, and goes, "A warm one? God, more of you coming here lately. What do you want?"
Oh, so And we need a place to stay, and I'm just kind of curious why this place seems so freaking off. So,
If you're looking for a place to stay, my bar and go find one of the damn resting points. There's like 7 of them. Doesn't matter which one you go to. They have more tolerance for spice racks like you. As far as what's going on here, you've been under a rock 200 years since we took over.
okay.
Hell, we've renamed the capital city Necropolis at this point.
I totally understand. Okay, I immediately head out and I'm like, this is freaky. Alright, so I go over and I try to find a place to stay till I can figure out what to do about this whole thing.
So after a bit, you find the resting point with specifically the sword-shaped sign. You've never been to Bladeria, but you know that more often than not, the people of Bladeria and Sheldarius are on good terms. This is probably a safe place for you, assuming that the dead haven't completely just thrown the rules out the window.
Okay, totally. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, I need a room for the night and some darn whiskey because I see lots of things out there that make me want to drink.
All right. So as you walk in there, we're going to pan over to Wiskerwick, the raccoon. You have also arrived via ship. Not quite as comfortably as Lumiara, though. You, being a raccoon, were hiding in the trash.
But
You
still just
feel
very
the ship
dapper.
up. Somebody just picks up the can you're in and chucks it to shore. You go stumbling, and as you fall kind of on your face, the note that brought you here flies out of your pocket, and you look up at it and see in this gorgeous golden cursive the note that's been itching the back of your mind in a way that's almost uncomfortable for almost a month now. And all it reads is, I've heard you're one who seeks treasure. But all I can promise is there is more gold than you can imagine in this place. And if you can't find it, all you need to do is ask the right person. And it's signed face card.
Aye. Now this is very nice. Despite my ride, he's just gonna try and just kick the trash can back at the ship, or whoever threw it at least.
Give me a strength roll.
He doesn't care much, but just a standard strength roll, I guess.
I just
So you
realized first dice
Holy
roll of the-
shit! You got a fucking 18!
I just
So
realized
you
first dice
kick
roll
it.
of the session.
Yeah. You kick it, it bounces 3 times and goes into the captain's face and just knocks him off the ship. Your inner gambler instincts just flare up real quick with, it's time to fold him, run.
No, not before he takes his top hat and just... and then he runs for it.
Oh my gosh, that was absolutely freaking hilarious. I just had to unmute and say that.
So as you're running through the streets, trying to make sure you're far enough away from the dock that at least the captain's crew won't recognize you. And you read Common relatively well, but as you're going through, you see you almost stop as you see the sign, because the writing is so bad you're pretty sure you could have written the Common better when you were 3 years old. As you look up at this sword-shaped sign, it's mostly wooden with a big ruby on the end of it, and it just says, Roasting Pjount. It is horribly misspelled.
He's just gonna rewrite it like a few times to get it to figure it out. Oh, resting place. Wait, who wrote this shit? A fucking orc? He's just gonna.
So
He's just gonna look back one more time up at the writing and just go, God, sometimes I forget how stupid the orcs back home are even. Christ.
So, as you walk in, the first things you notice are a fiery cleric who is standing at the bar trying to get a room and being completely ignored, and an elf who looks... Nothing about that chick makes sense. The armor she's wearing looks like your great-grandpa's armor from old paintings you've seen. You also get the very potent smell of rotting meat, some kind of apple, you assume, but you've never seen it before, and a hint of perfume. As for the other two, you watch a very confused-looking raccoon walk in. He seems to look around, and his face switches from "that made my head hurt" to "what the fuck is this place?"
Well, it's better than the trash can that I arrived here in, but it'll fucking do. He just has like this mixed accent style way of speech, like that just when it's all put together just makes him sound dapper and like
I will say that all three of you notice, as you see the other two, they are the only people here who look as confused and what the fuck is going on as you do.
It's supposed to be true. I've already done places. I'm supposed to be able to get a stinking whiskey. Now you better give me something. I ain't got money, and I want to spend it on your damn ale.
At this point, Whiskerwick's gonna approach the same counter that help me here.
Lumeria.
Lumeria is standing at, and he's gonna do like this kind of dapper like pogo stick jump with his cane. No, I mean by dapper I mean like it's so perfectly done. He just looks smart doing it.
So as you walk up, you notice that the bartender is this. He's a white. But rather than being mostly rotted, the only thing with any rotting really is his face. His arms are almost as big around as you are. He looks around and he goes, "The fuck? Hey, lady, is that your pet?"
Oi, who you calling a fucking pet? And he's just shocked about how intelligent the raccoon actually is.
Oh,
I mean, I look like it's none of my goddamn raccoon, you bastard.
I've been yelling at you for some stinking whiskey for almost an hour. Now freaking give me my damn booze.
He reaches under the counter and he pulls out a bottle that just reads 4 lifeys. And he looks at you and he's just like, 2 copper.
He puts it on the table and they say,
I'm gonna Whiskerwick's gonna hold out his cane and be like, hold on. What does the gold get this one, eh? And he's just gonna roll the gold coin across his knuckles. What about this? I know your whites like your fucking gold. What roll?
Charisma. Or persuasion, if that's better.
How does a 14... 14 plus 2, so 16.
You give him guidance.
He kind of looks at you. He sees the gold coin and his eyes almost widen just a little bit and he goes, "Hey, they're real?"
Check it yourself. Why don't you break one of your teeth on it if you want to?
So he takes it and you watch him put it on his finger and push down on both sides. And he goes, "Real gold." Hey, don't let the big one see that. And
Depends if you're nice to my friend
looking
here.
around like he's worried someone's about to come in and beat him to death.
I'm gonna motion my cane for him to come close again.
All right.
The only way the big doesn't find out about this is if you're nice to not only me, but this GENASI here and that down-looking elf. All right. Who knows? There might be more personal goal towards you if you're nice.
So he reaches under it and he pulls out this big, gorgeous, ornate bottle that reads Nectar of Lichland. He goes, "This is the third most expensive thing I've got here.
That'll do.
This is 1 gold."
How much is left in the bottle exactly?
As you look at this bottle, you can tell it's been opened maybe twice ever.
Whoa!
Like this is something that is bought with a currency that's either not around here, or anyone who has the money for it is buying something stronger.
I'm gonna go over to Shokan's table and I'm gonna tap on it. Oi, you want a drink?
With all the shit that's been happening to me lately, yes, I will have a drink.
Come on then.
I'll get up and.
If I do it just right, he sounds like one of the Beatles. By the way, as a joke.
Yep, sounds like it. Having 7 accents and none of them sounding right. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, and which one?
I love the Beatles. I've been to the Rock and Roll McDonald's when that was a thing. I've heard that apparently it's not anymore. Although I also lived near it, so I got to be unfair with that. But none of them sound like any fucking accent. At least when they're talking.
How smart is this white of a bartender also?
He seems to keep a conversation. He seems like a pretty smart guy, especially if you compare him to any of the undead you've seen before. You've seen undead. He's like holding a conversation with you like you're talking to a lich. There's just he seems like he is actively worried something terrible is going to happen to him at any moment.
Rephrase. In terms of history. Like, has he seen shit that no one would expect to see in their life? Or is he still new and doesn't know much?
Based on the look of him and the smell of the bar, you figure he's seen a couple centuries. He hasn't been here for more than like 300 years, but he's at least twice that as far as his age.
Okay. I'm now trying to figure out how much I can use to persuade him for information. Monetary-wise, of course. I'm going to motion him over one final time. How much to get a little information out of you?
Depends what you're asking.
How do I put this? What the hell happened to the place that was here before? Kind of deal.
You mean like 400 years ago when humans still mattered?
Before, yeah, basically.
I will point out, Shokan, this is the first time you're hearing 400 years ago.
If it helps, I'll even pay for a drink for you out of this very bottle.
He picks up the bottle and just takes a big old swig. Like, you imagine if this was ale, he's shit-faced by the time he puts this down. He goes, okay, look. We don't talk about it. If anyone asks, you heard about this from the lich down the street. That guy's an asshole. He smells like feet. And I'm pretty sure he has a cat I don't know where he got a goddamn cat. But look, 400 years ago, the Great Liches came to this place. They escaped some prison camp on one of the wizardy islands full of fuckbags. They didn't just kill everything here. They killed the land, the island, the crops, the people, the money, the frigging mine. Nothing here is alive anymore. Oh. That being said, everything they killed, they brought back. Different. He says, like, gesturing to himself.
Interesting.
I was human. I was part of the Arrow Island Defense Force. We got called in after the Bullet Island people got fucking massacred. My name was Ken. Now I'm that white at the bar.
DM question, the Arrow Defense Force, was I part of that? Because I kind of left my backstory open-ended in case there was something like that.
So you were part of what was called the Bullet Island Self-Defense Force.
Okay.
He's basically saying he's one of the guys who got called in after your people were just butchered. You were a part of the defense force of this island. He's from a neighboring island that was called in because of what happened to your platoon.
Okay.
That being said, there is one thing on this island they didn't absolutely massacre because the humans didn't fucking know it was here. And it's those goddamn apples. We can't even fucking have them. You know how bullshit that is? He says, like, pointing down at the bottle, which I assume you've poured your separate drinks. As each of you take a sip, this is very clearly the best apple whiskey you have ever consumed. Like, you feel stronger drinking it. In the case of Shokan, you came in here at 1 HP, you take one sip of it, and you're back to max health. It is, I just took a long rest kind of strong.
Wow.
Wiskerwick's gonna look around. Where can we find this hidden apple orchard of sorts?
They keep them atop the towers. That's how we get the alcohol. They take the apple. They consume most of its powers, and then they crush it and juice it and turn it into whiskey. This comes directly from the palage, the white tower outside.
Interesting.
Well, this is officially the best stuff I've had in years, and I've had some pretty nice stuff. Alright, so guys, I think I know I am here, and I don't know if I can do this mission, but I will try because clearly I am so freaking awesome.
I will tell you, every time this guy says the word lich, his face like dims a little bit. He is absolutely horrified.
My last question is, what makes these apples
Except when he
so
says the
goddamn
lich down the street.
special?
That's more of what was that?
What makes these apples so goddamn special? Like, Wiskerwick's face has gone from, like, dapper to, like, serious curiosity.
The island, before we got here, it was property of Motha, the goddess of life. It was her domain. The apples were made by her to return the dead from the brink. If you were on the ground with one drop of blood left in your veins, one bite of the apple brings you back. A whole apple will make you stronger than you've ever imagined. That's why they cornered it off once they got rid of the humans. I've never even seen one. I've heard rumors that they're solid gold. I've heard rumors that their core is what we make Necronian coins from, but that's all hearsay. Only the Liches actually know. Assholes. Don't tell them I said that, please.
Don't worry, secret's safe with me. Now the white just sees like this endless look of curiosity on Whiskerwick's face. Like he's just starting to ponder how much has actually gone down that everything could have just gone so wrong.
Shokan will speak up as she's continuing to drink her drink, and well, first off, this is some of the best alcohol I can possibly say I've ever had. But how much would it cost, good sir, how much would it cost to get a room for the night?
Most of our prices are pretty dirt low around here since the Liches control everything. It's 2 silver for a room.
2 silver.
For 5, I can put you all in the same room.
Well, I take a look to I forgot both of your characters' names. I'm so sorry.
Whiskerwick.
I turn to Wiskerwick and Mark. What's your character's name? Lumeria. I turn to them both and say, "Well, I think we've gotten acquainted enough to sleep in the same room. If you all are okay with that, of course."
I don't mind at all. I usually sleep in the rafters of any room anyway. I'm that weird of a raccoon.
Okay, so long as nobody tries to roast hot dogs on me, head everything.
Whiskerwick's gonna jokingly ask. Whiskerwick's gonna jokingly ask, "What about marshmallows?"
With the stink eyes of that burn with 1,000 suns.
And as soon as you said, doesn't try to roast hot dogs on my head, I'm just going to say it as anyone with a passive perception higher than like 13 just hears, "God damn it," and watches the white like start putting hot dogs into his jacket, hoping you don't see them. He was absolutely going to try without you noticing.
Oh,
All right.
And both of you see Whiskerwick just take off his hat and toss the marshmallow back in, and he just
Shokan will just
What?
look like surprised and shocked, but reach into her coin pouch and place down a gold piece, and I'll tell him, "Thank you for the information. Go ahead and keep the change."
What kind of coin did you give him?
Gold piece.
So he grabs it, and there's just a quiet fuck, as he starts trying to stuff it into his shirt.
Can I perhaps make an insight check and see why he's so worried about gold pieces?
Go for it.
All right, I have a +4.
or what about passive insight? What's your passive insight?
How do I calculate passive insight?
Same as
It
perception.
should be on
It's
your
your
character
insight skill
sheet.
+10.
It's going to be what +10? Insight, right?
Yeah, your insight skill +10, same as you calculate your passive perception.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I've almost, aside from Hugan and Savage Lands bringing a passive perception, I always forget passives exist in the game. So
I use a passive for everything. So if we had, say, a really good rogue in the party with like a +10 to stealth, if the DC is lower than 20, I won't even ask you to roll. That kind of thing.
makes sense.
If you ever roll lower than your passive and it's not a natural 1, just give me your passive.
Okay, makes sense. Does a passive insight of 14 reveal anything, or do I have to roll?
You've seen that kind of behavior before back in basic, like back in boot camp. You know that is, I'm not supposed to have this. This is not supposed to be here. This is a bad thing, but I really like it.
Okay. Makes sense. So, after all of that, and assuming he hands the keys over to the room or whatnot, Shokan is gonna be the first one upstairs, and she'll just turn to both of them and say, "I'll meet you both in our room." And while she is, well, actually, I'll say that for when they walk into the room.
I'll eventually walk in, and if there is a thing in here, I'm just curious.
Before you leave the room, Lumiera, can you roll me an insight?
I can really do that. My passive is a 17 though, so I'm not.
Then yeah, you're definitely gonna get it. You don't got to worry about rolling it. You realize when you walked in and when he started talking to Whiskerwick, he called you Spice Rack. That stuck in your head just a little bit. As you're about to walk up the stairs, you kind of stop and the gears turn for a second. Was he hitting on me?
Makes me wonder.
So when Lumeria walks into the room, she is going to see Shokan. Her hand, she has a pen or the equivalent in her hand, and she is writing in a light blue journal like this. But her hand is just shaking the whole time, and she's kind of breathing in and out. Remember what they taught you in basic. Remember what they taught you in basic. She is actively having a panic attack right now.
I go over and I sit next to you. And I look at you. Sometimes I get what you're going through, but you can't. You have to pull yourself together, or we're not even going to get out of here.
You're right.
I don't know what else to tell you. I know it's not going to be easy. I've seen this a lot. Plenty of young ones come back from the wars. They don't get any better. You have to toughen up.
She kind of takes a deep breath and says, "But what happens when you were in a war from 400 years ago?"
And
And
it's no
all
different.
your efforts,
Although a lot of things might have changed. And a lot of people might not be around. Not everybody stays around a long time. People come and go. But you just got to keep going. Because you still have your little lot in life to live.
You're right.
He's right.
Excuse
me, she's right.
I'm out of place, out of time here. 400 years ago, I was sent to this island to cleanse the undead. I saw my friends, my commanding officer, die in front of my face just to find out that my efforts were in vain. What do I do with that? When the whole reason I was here failed. What do I do?
You put your faith something a little stronger. You take a look.
Do what?
I like literally hold out my hand and fire like the sun comes out. And I say, like the goddess of the sun, she's got your back. I'm here. She's got your back.
Mark, Rose, both of you take 1 point of inspiration. And I'm going to be writing this down. Mark, try to keep... I'll probably have each of you gain these as we go, but Mark, keep track of it on paper. You have 1 point of shock and awe, which I will offer for you to use whenever there is a relevant time.
So question about inspiration. Is inspiration like how I did inspiration in Savage Lands, where you can accumulate it more than just one?
So I have never run it as you can only have one inspiration. You can save up your inspiration die as long as you want and as many as you want. But if you have more than certain amounts in certain times, I will get, and you fail like a check, I'll give you the option to use all of them to just automatically succeed if it's important enough.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
I like that.
But for example, if you're trying to persuade someone and you know your stat isn't high enough and you have 10 points of inspiration, I'll ask you, do you want to use 10 of your inspirations to just succeed anyways?
Makes sense. Wow.
But
That's gonna
points of shock and awe are going to be treated similar to inspiration. It's going to be a time you should have failed, but a being more powerful than yourself steps in and changes fate so that you succeed anyways.
Okay.
But it'll only be a time that the being who gave you that point of shock and awe would do it. So in Lumiera's case, it's when Motha would step in to solve the problem.
All right, so I got the shock and awe and the point of inspiration. So after Lumeria kind of talks me down a little bit, she looks to Lumeria and says, "Thank you. I needed that."
No problem, Moss.
After which she is going to close her journal and tuck it into a pouch and is going to take the rifle and further examine, like take a deeper look into the damage on her rifle.
When you were writing in your journal, were you writing it as a journal entry or as a letter?
A journal entry.
Okay. At any point in there, did you put the name of another person, your father, your commanding officer, anything like that?
Not yet. She was trying to write, but it was not coming out.
Okay. I'm clarifying that because when she writes down names of people, depending on the person and the condition, something interesting may come to pass.
Okay. Yeah, she was just... all she wrote in her journal was, "I'm a woman out of time."
All right, so you grab your rifle, you examine it. The barrel is nearly cracked in half. As you can tell, while you were flying through the ages, your rifle wasn't with you. It just sat in that exact spot for 400 years, exposed to weather, exposed to archaeological digs that found it at one point and for whatever reason chose not to move it. It's damaged almost beyond repair. You figure I could probably fix this but then you start making a mental list of the different tools you need, and you realize you wouldn't have any idea where to find most of those things.
She is going to, holding the rifle in both hands, her sniper rifle, the thing that her father gave her, and realizing she can't fix it, she falls to her knees and just bawls her eyes out again, muttering, damn it all."
As you fall, the sun is going down outside and a bright light appears outside. The most lively thing you've seen since you got here, and it's just 3 letters in neon, and they're different colors. It's neon red, neon green, and neon purple, and it's just R, R, R.
I legit got goosebumps. Shokan doesn't know what it is about her that is drawing her towards that, but she gets up, very carefully slings the rifle over to her shoulder as to not damage the barrel, and she begins to walk out and turns to the other two and says, heading over to that R and R place over there. If you want to come with, that is fine.
Okay, this is gonna be funny. The moment you look over, you notice that Lumeria is the only one there. As you turn to look the other way, Wiskerwick is on your shoulder and be like, "So, we leaving?" he's that dapperly quick.
Wow. Okay. I'll turn to Lumeria. Lumeria, are you coming with us?
I can totally do that. Give me 1 second. I literally drag myself out of bed. I want to go back to bed, and then I put my shoes on. They're I think that's stuff I had. Never mind, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But
No, it's just I whisper to you. Before I came here, I had a little bit too much to drink, and then when I came into the bar, I had a little bit more, and then I had a little bit more, and you could kind of understand that there's something called a hangover, and I'm experiencing it right now. But I'll go with you anyway.
Well,
what's the worst that's happened?
All right, as you three set out for that, we do need to pause for just a second. I've got to tend to something. I'll be right back.
Of course, I'll go ahead and end the recording here. We'll be right back, guys. All right, everybody, we are back. I am now handing things back over to the DM.
All right, so you guys exit, and you find yourselves back on the streets of this village that you don't even know the name of, and it's so opposite to the morning. There's still that thick, dewy fog, but now the sidewalks are lit as you walk up to this building, and they're bright neon lit. Like, this is almost impossible to miss. As you walk up towards a building about the size of a tavern, you push open the doors expecting, you're not really sure what, but it's definitely not two guys, a desk, a cat, and one guy in the corner. But as you open it, you see a large desk in the middle with two really, really good-looking guys behind it. A pair of tieflings. One of them is clad in this big, bulky armor, and the other one is more lounging in a chair, almost like he's trying to be a model but casual about it, or some stupid shit like that. There's one guy back in the corner working, and you don't know why, but sitting on the desk is just this little faintly glowing purple cat that the guy in the big bulky armor is just actively petting, but otherwise he seems to not acknowledge its presence at all. As he looks at you guys and he goes, "Oh, hello there. We haven't had living customers in too long. What's going on? Hi there, guys."
Hello. So what? I'm not from around here, so I do have to ask, what is this place? What is it you guys do?
Oh, well, welcome to R Industries. We do a little bit of everything and absolutely none of nothing. So depending on what you're looking for, we've either got it, can make it, or can do it better.
So Shokan will immediately, very carefully, take the rifle off of her shoulder and very gently place it on the counter. This sniper rifle was I do not have the means to fix this. Can you?
He picks it up and kind of looks and twists it around a couple times. As soon as he picks it up with both hands, you hear a very angry little and the cat scampers away. Immediately beelining all the way to the back. And he goes, oh, dear, you have seen better days, haven't you, mate? Romulus! He says, cocking his head. And from the back, you hear a, God damn it, I don't like talking to the customers. The guy starts walking over, and this is just another absolutely shredded tiefling for some reason. He walks up and he's like, hey guys, what's up? And the first tiefling hands him your gun, and he goes, think there's something we can do about that for the lovely lady over here? And he goes, it's just fixing stuff. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I could do that. Give me like 45 minutes. And he looks at the other tiefling and goes, 3 liquid hastes, and I can do this. Give me 10 minutes. And he passes him 3 energy drinks. And the guy the Romulus, as you now know, scoops up all 3 of them, looks at you, looks back at the other 2 tieflings, looks back at you, and he goes, I'll be back. And he walks away, somehow having gone from the confidence of the nerd boy in the locker room to having all the confidence of a stripper in a nightclub like that. He walks in the back, and you can hear him chugging these cans. And then after a couple seconds, there's a crush and a quiet, and the can's just gone.
So I will turn to the one I was speaking with before, and I will reach for my coin pouch and ask, how much is this going to cost?
It's just a repair, and you're the first living being we've seen in since we set up this location. So don't worry about it. He says, like putting his hand on your wrist and almost aggressively pushing your coin pouch back into your pocket. Like, no.
This is the point where Whiskerwick's going to shock them and be like, well, that is very generous, I must say. I've never seen nice people.
He looks at you with
one time.
Yeah, he looks at you, and you end up more surprised than he is, because there's no shock on his face as he sees this talking animal. He's just like, oh, hello there, little friend. How are you today?
Arrived here in a trash can. Other than that, I'm feeling pretty dapper still. He's gonna just shrug and fix his jacket a bit.
Well, the small and fuzziest among us do tend to enjoy traveling that way, although I never got them to tell me why.
It happens. Just know it makes us feel mightier than our height.
I can understand
That's what a good
that.
friend of mine used to say.
Is there anything else I can get you?
Whiskerwick, before he answers that, is going to check through his history notes that he's written over the past 10 years. You mentioned liquid haste. Gosh.
Indeed, we carry a liquid version of almost every spell. We also just have energy drinks that are called liquid haste.
He just sees Whiskerwick flipping, and Whiskerwick's got every history year like tabbed in his notebook, and he just sees him flipping back like to the point where liquid haste even got originated.
So as you flick back in it, you find about 10 years ago it was invented and patented by a group called RR&R Industries.
You wouldn't happen to know, gosh, been a good bit of years since I've mentioned this friend I made about 5 years ago when I first met him. A fellow named Chutch.
Oh, I didn't know he wound up in this dimension with me. Actually, I do. Our head of security is based off him, although he's a bit of a pain in the ass, but a lovable
Believe
one.
me, I
you
know.
As he says this, you see this big ass, like, Sub-Zero looking android in the back who just looks up at you, cocks his head. A little falcon head, like, comes out of his shoulder, caws at you, and then goes back in,
Simmons.
and he just.
Good to see you, old chap.
So, DM, got a question for you. On my notes, I also, as part of the homebrew marksman class, which I will leave down in the description. Forgot to mention that. But I basically got a pistol and essentially the sniper rifle as well. Do I still have the pistol on my person, or am I gonna need a new one?
So, because it was strapped to you, it appears to be in exactly the condition it was last time you saw it.
Okay, perfect. So don't really need anything else then. Not that I have really enough gold for it. I have 9 gold.
I will point out you're still carrying your CO's knife collection, which is in a large leather case that you said you strapped to your back.
I put it in my backpack, but yes.
Okay.
That I don't think I'm gonna sell.
I'm looking around and I walk over to the kitty and I say, "Which one of the brothers are you?"
It cocks its head at you and it goes, and it just runs away and goes and sits on top of the third one's head, who again is just it. Not only does the cat not seem to move, he does not acknowledge it's there. It's almost like they can't see it, but they constantly pet it if it's close enough.
I'm gonna look at the one that's just rapidly working like crazy. Am I seeing things, or is he moving so fast that it just looks like he's not even moving at all?
As you say that, there's just a quick noise as he's like scraping the inside of the barrel, followed by a. But he does not appear to be moving, except that you cannot see his arms.
Well, I had no idea they improved liquid haste this amazingly.
Shokan is
Only
immediately
church
after
would have seen
looking
this.
at this guy who's working on my firearm and the amount of productivity he's able to do. She kind of sighs and says, "Old habits die hard." She pulls out a gold piece, slides it over, and says, "1 liquid haste, please."
So he leans in, but he goes, literal haste or metaphoric haste? I have to ask.
The energy version.
So he slides you an energy drink that's called Liquid Haste, and you notice that it has a flavor written at the bottom, and there's a or otherwise, which tells you that there's more than just this flavor. This is just the one he happened to grab first, and it is. Let me think a second.
While
So
you're
the one
thinking
he slides you is labeled ham dinner. That's what it says.
Ham.
So, since Whiskerwick is sitting on Shokan's shoulder, Whiskerwick's gonna go. When Church originally tried this, from what I've heard, he sugar crashed about an hour later, maybe less. So fair warning.
I'll turn to him on my shoulder and I'll say, "Thanks for the heads up."
Suddenly, out of nowhere, you just hear time. As the guy from the back walks up, your rifle is gleaming more than when you were given the gun.
Wow.
There's also now 3 additional buttons at the base, like on your the stock. He goes, "I also upgraded it. I was bored. Now it shoots fire."
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, 1 second felt like 1 year. I had time. As he says that, you see there's a red button, there's a blue button, a white button, and a black button that just says no right above it.
No. Okay. Noted.
He hands it back to you and he goes, by the way, it fires everything. And it doesn't matter what ammo you stick in it. Stick an arrow in here and it'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
He turns around, looks at the other two tieflings, and he's like, today is awesome. As he picks up another one and just chugs it, walking away. I am going to sleep for a week.
I will lean. I will lean forward to the one at the counter, and I will just say, I'm not gonna end up like him if I drink this, am I?
Have you ever known a wizard who has the haste spell? That's what happens with the non-metaphoric liquid haste. You have the metaphoric one. You're just gonna feel awesome for a couple of hours and be nice and awake.
Okay, noted.
Also,
he slides you back 9 silver. He's giving you your change.
another thing about the physical haste. One just sugar crashes you out in an hour. With how much he's drank, he's going to be out 1 day for every couple cans.
I will say, especially because of perception and insight, Lumiara noticed that the first 3 he grabbed were labeled literal haste, and the last one wasn't. It was a metaphoric one.
Totally.
Which kind of tells you that maybe he's figured out something when it comes to the metaphoric haste that other people other than him have not thought of yet.
To a certain somebody, may say, hey, they have some weird type of combination going on there. I think that if we mimicked it, we wouldn't have such a drag when we're coming down from that stuff, if you know what I mean.
Speaking of which, Shokan, are you going to drink the metaphoric haste you bought?
Sorry, forgot I was muted. Not immediately, considering the fact that it is starting to get late, and with everything going on, and even though she's calmer now, especially now that her rifle's fixed up, you know, she wants to sleep. She is a woman 400 years at a time. After this, she's going straight to sleep.
Got it. So I'm going to write down on my little notepad I've got here what the metaphoric haste does so that I can remember it when you do drink it. It does actually have a magical benefit.
Okay.
Whiskerwick's going to ask them, so it seems like you guys work on weapons. Do you also sell? Because I have a bit of an interesting request if you're interested.
Like I said, friend, if you can think of it, we've got it.
So, is there any way... Well, better question. Can you modify something into a weapon? Say, a cane. So, Wiskerwick just for now has the cane. This is where he's going to... Yeah. Out of character, that's what's about to happen. So, he's also going to pull out like a partially well-drawn detail for the idea, and he's going to hand the cane over. Do you think you could turn this cane into a cane that also has a hidden rapier of sorts?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. 2 gold.
He's gonna act like a magician because they don't know about the hat yet. Observe. And he's gonna magically pull out 2 gold.
I will point out that you guys notice, unlike the undead shopkeeper earlier at the tavern, every time this guy says anything about gold or anything like that, he does not appear to be afraid. He does not seem to give a shit. He just wants to get paid for his job. He takes him and he's like, all right, give me just a moment. I should be able to fix this. He walks in the back, and the other one who's leaning on the couch goes, oh, my life is so boring. Hey, guys, is that convincing?
A little more feel to it, please.
As you say that, he dramatically flops so hard he falls off the couch. He goes, oh, dear me. My brothers get all the attention.
Now give me more emotion.
This is just turned into an improv class now. There's another whoa, and then there's like a fountain of water that comes up from his eyes.
Whiskerwick's gonna go.
10.
He gets up, gives you a power, and he's like, I don't get enough work.
Honestly, out of character, I was hoping you would say, no, no, what?
So, I'm a little bit curious. Since everybody else is doing stuff in here, I'm like talking to the wall right there. Alright, so you, sir, I'm like turned around in the other direction from them. I think that I'm talking to them right now, in case you haven't figured it out. And I say
you
to
think you're talking to them, or they think you're talking to them?
I think I'm talking to them. I mean, they probably do hear me, and they see me talking to the wall. I'm just doing nothing. And I say,
okay. So what are you saying?
Alright, so here's the thing. Came in here and it's like a lot of freaking undead. And I like hitting them with my magic. If they come near me, I want to smack them with something and make it hurt. So here's the thing. I have this thing, it is called a case. And I want to basically break it over and have it actually.
He leans in a little towards the party and he goes, guys, it's your friend, bro.
Yeah, it's better you don't know what she drank.
As far as I know, she's got it. That's as far as I know.
And then while Whiskerwick's gonna pass along the information he got from the barkeep, what I'm about to tell you stays amongst you three, as well as us. The reason a lot of these dead are around, most likely, is that there's the higher ups of the people that rule this place, or creatures, or whatever you want to call them, are guarding some kind of golden apple orchard.
Oh yeah, no, the bronze dickheads. Yeah, they're fucking stupid.
I'm thinking over time we come up with a plan and relieve them of said orchard. And out of character, by overtime, that means later in the game, of course.
Yeah. I just saw the message from Mark. Admittedly, part of why she got the reaction she did is because I couldn't hear what he was saying. So he starts catching bits and pieces of what she's saying about the mace, and he goes, "Oh, you just need it like uberly shiny, dope." And he walks over and he kind of takes the mace out of your hand. He goes, "Deuces," and walks behind the counter. At which point another like robot comes out, but this one's not big and bulky like the one that was shown to Wiskerwick. This one is smaller and more slender, and is kind of dressed like a librarian. And he sits down in their spot and he goes, "Was there anything else we can help you with?" And he's wearing a little name tag that just says Hugan.
I love it.
And then on the other one is one written in writing that was clearly written with like a paw, not a hand, and it just has "fuck ass."
Unless
It's very clear he hasn't noticed it's there, by the way.
unless my acquaintances need anything else, I think we might be good.
Yeah. I mostly just came here to get my rifle fixed, and now I have a liquid haste, whatever the hell this is. After our friend here gets her mace silvered, we should be good to go.
He gives you a polite nod as the heavy armor wearing tiefling comes out from the back, and he goes, well, clearly Remus left. Here you go. And he passes Whiskerwick the now Sword King.
Ooh.
Very nice. You fellas do more than good work.
The one that worked on the gun comes over and he grabs 2 more metaphoric liquid hastes and he goes, I'm gonna take a nap. Just kind of waddles away. This isn't his confident strut or his like, I don't want people to look at me kind of facade. It's just dun 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 dun.
Hold on.
Dun, dun,
Comedy bit suggestion, if you don't mind. The moment he takes his 10 steps, he just passes out on the floor.
He downs the first one and then kind of drops, and they're like, well, fuck. Sorry about that. Normally he finished them all before he collapses, but
Wiskerwick's just gonna look and just
he had
go.
too much fun.
So uncivilized.
I will say, Rose, do you want me to tell you what your metaphoric liquid haste does, or do you want to drink it at some point and see what it does?
Okay, in translation. Know ahead of time or fuck around to find out.
Yeah, basically. For inventory sake, I will say yes, I would like to know what it does.
So the metaphoric version of liquid haste removes 1 level of exhaustion when consumed.
So how long till they bring me back my names?
So for example, if Romulus had finished all 3, he would have been fine. He wouldn't have had any of the exhaustions from the liquid hastes he drank. But because he got excited and spent extra time working on the gun, he didn't have enough time to finish the 3rd one, so he passed out.
Fail.
But it's a fairly useful potion later on, especially if you end up with a party member that has haste.
Makes sense.
Great. Sometimes go ahead.
The himbo ass tiefling comes out with the now very heavily silvered mace, and he kind of puts it on the counter for you guys, and he goes, that'll be like 3 silver, and then we're solid. Yeah. All right, and with that, you guys are all paid up. So you're good to leave the shop or ask about any other items that have your interest. Mark, if you can make yourself any louder, I would appreciate it. I've got you cranked up as high as I can, and I'm still having issues hearing you. I can hear Rose most of the time. She's kind of cutting in and out, but you're almost silent.
All right, it's a
And
combination.
there's also like a buzzing coming from your computer. Or whatever it
It's a
is.
combination of my cold and the voice. You know, I've been sick these last few days, and it's just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of
Crappy.
me just recovering from that.
Yeah, that's why I just asked if you had something you could do, if you could move your microphone closer to your mouth or something.
I can basically like scroll into me thing, and I can crank it up on my end a little bit.
Okay.
Let me see.
All right.
Edit. I need to edit my own thing. All right, so I cranked it up. I don't know if it's doing anything else.
It seems to be a little better now. Hopefully it stays that way.
Alright. I mean, there is like only one other thing I could think of, but I don't know if can they like plus I place a little amulet on the thing? Can they like make this like channel spiritual energy better?
Okay, so let's see. Is it a magic amulet or is it just an amulet?
It's an amulet. It basically has my holy symbol.
Okay. And you said you want it to channel spiritual energy.
Better, yes.
I think I've got an idea. And he takes it, or the himbo one picks it up and walks away. He comes back after about 2 minutes and he puts it down, and you can tell it is now enchanted.
Indeed, I pick it up. How much do I owe you for that?
2 gold.
All right,
Seems like that should be fair.
Yes. All right, thank you for my 2 gold.
As you put it on, you immediately become aware it is constantly casting 2 different spells on you. You are treated as always under the effects of comprehend languages. If you hear a language you do not know, you immediately understand what's being said and can respond in the same language. It also has the ability to cast Speak with Dead a certain number of times a day. I'd say it's about 6 times in the span of 24 hours that you can cast Speak with Dead for free with your amulet.
All right, got it.
As you pick it up, he leans forward and he goes, "I really don't work enough."
You can kind of understand why, given all the undead out here.
With that, I think you guys are probably heading back to your inn, or are you going somewhere else?
I'm heading back to the inn.
I need
Alright.
to go back to the inn. I need to pray to the porcelain god, if you know what I mean.
He like grabs your wrist as he hears you say that, and he goes, "Hold up," and he passes you a little bottle. It's about this big.
Alright,
And
what does it?
He
What does
passes
it
you a
say?
little bottle filled with a luminescent blue liquid and a sandwich.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And he goes, "Okay." You guys make your way back over to the tavern.
Alright. I take that. What does it say it's called?
So if it is labeled on the bottle. If you look, it's very small print, but it reads Phoenixian Tears at the bottom of the bottle. The sandwich is just a turkey sandwich.
Alright, got it.
Special about the sandwich.
Seemingly.
So you guys get back. I'm running on the assumption you're just going straight to sleep.
In which
Yes,
Shokan just sees Whiskerwick run up into the rafters of the room. I think he just
Alright.
So as each of you fall asleep, you all hear one thing right before you actually drift off. Lumiera, you hear a voice that's familiar. It almost sounds like your mom, but not quite. And the voice just goes, "Sleep tight, honey. Tomorrow's going to be absolutely horrendous. Be careful."
Oh, I know. And then I get the feeling it's not just because of the hangover.
Shokan, as you start to fall asleep, you hear a much more powerful masculine voice you immediately recognize as your father, but he sounds different. And not aged. He almost sounds like someone's choking him. As you just hear, I understand that you're lost, but if you have any sense left in that head of yours, run. And Wiskerwick, right before you can fall asleep, you hear a voice completely alien to you. Unlike the others, you don't recognize this. You just hear, man, we didn't make no fucking money. And that's the last thing you hear before falling asleep. None of you have a dream of any kind, but both of the girls wake up and immediately feel tears streaming down their face as they wake up. The last thing they heard before falling asleep ringing in their head. In Lumiera's case, a little more literal on the ringing aspect.
I will also say that as Wiskerwick was dozing off, like falling asleep, he was also trying to figure out the face card bit of that note.
Yeah, you know it was signed by someone, and it was sincerely face card, and they drew a picture of the King of Hearts, and it's like hanging off the end of the.
Funny enough, I have a deck of cards here.
You've always got everything near you, it seems like.
Right.
One minute you'll have a deck of cards, the next minute you have a butterfly knife. I saw that.
Wrong card.
You just got all sorts of stuff nearby you at all times.
So I will say, Rose,
I'm practically a fucking
in that
bag of
knife
holding.
collection that you picked up, there are 12 different knives. All of them have slightly different stats.
Okay, noted.
Ooh.
If you decide to actually pull one out and use it at any point, I will give you the stats for them. But there are essentially 13 classes in the world, and each one has a different knife they use primarily. You know the only one missing is the Blood Hunter, because Blood Hunters were only trained in the Bullet Isles and never really left.
Okay, noted.
Also, I do have a pair of homebrew knives I think would be perfect in the set. I will send them to you after the session.
Okay.
And
Speaking
by
of
the
after
way,
the session, do you guys want to wrap up here, or do you want to go for another like 10, 15 minutes?
Well, I gotta get going to cook dinner relatively soon, so
All right.
I think that would be a good stopping point if everyone else is on board with it.
Yep. We can call it here, and you guys can use the next week or so until next session to think of how your character is going to react to what you heard right before falling asleep.
Certainly. Got it.
Got it.
I will also point out, Rose, the voice you heard you recognized as your father, but you know that can't have come from your mind because you've never heard him sound that way. He's essentially talking like this in that.
Makes sense.
ooh, I think I've already got that plot twist figured out.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
don't
elaborate though.
Don't spoil it.
I'm
ready for that.
I said
All
I
of you have
think.
different plot hooks in there. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. But I think it's time for our outro.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching this very first session of the Bullet Isles. If you guys like what you see, make sure you leave a like, you comment, you subscribe, and you ring that bell, ding, 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 and join the notification station, the whole shebang, shaboodle, the whole kit caboodle, if you know what I mean. Once again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the awesome players for joining the DM, and thanks to the DM so much for running this amazing session. I'm already hooked. I am excited. I cannot wait for the next session. I hope you guys
I'm glad to hear it.
I hope you guys can't wait either. But with that, this is Rose and Friends signing off. Goodbye.
Bye.